This is a video explaining how to write a literary exploration essay. So let us begin the slideshow. Okay, so a literary exploration essay is a student-written essay which includes an analysis of any combination of any text studied during class as well as the writer's personal experience. So this type of essay is an essay that is going to be exploring literature. That's why it's called literary exploration. So we're going to be exploring texts that we studied in class as well as the writer's personal experience. Okay, so this is what a literary exploration essay looks like. It is, if you think of these boxes as paragraphs, it is 4 paragraphs. And when you get to English 20 and English 30, it will become 5 paragraphs. But in English 10, we keep it to 4. The first and the last paragraph, those are your introduction and your conclusion paragraphs. And then you have your body paragraph 1, where you're going to be talking about literature, and body paragraph 2, where you're going to be talking about yourself. Okay, so if you think of this type of an essay as like a sandwich, you have your bread on the outside. They need to be strong and hold everything together, right? And then the 2 body paragraphs on the inside are kind of like, that's where all the good stuff is in a sandwich, right? Those paragraphs are going to be where all your really good information will appear. Okay, so how do we write this? We start by writing our introduction paragraph, okay? And so what is an introduction paragraph? You think about when you're introducing yourself to someone that doesn't know you. How would you do that? That's sort of what you got to think of when you're writing your introduction paragraph. Okay, so you're always going to have a topic. Your teacher will always give you some topic to write on, and your essay will have to be about that specific topic. So a good way to introduce your essay or introduce your topic is to give some general information about whatever the topic is. What does the reader need to know to understand the topic? You might want to ask your reader a question. That's one of my favorite ways of starting an introduction paragraph. I ask them a question about maybe a time where they felt something to do with the topic. A hook or a grabber, something interesting, maybe give them some facts or give them some reason to want to read your essay further. And then you don't want to give too much evidence, and you don't want to say too much in your introduction paragraph. It's just a way to kind of introduce the idea of whatever the topic is and what you'll be discussing in your essay. And then lastly, this really important sentence, it's called a thesis statement. This is going to be basically telling your reader what your entire essay is going to be about. Okay, so let's talk about the thesis statement. A thesis statement is a sentence that explains what you will be discussing in your essay. It shows the reader your position on the topic. So I like to think of it as a roadmap. So a roadmap kind of gives you directions for where you're going to go, right? A thesis statement, it tells the reader where you will be going and what you will be discussing in your essay. Okay, so it's just one sentence usually, and it always appears in your introductory paragraph, okay? It should be very clear and specific as possible. It tells your reader what to expect in your essay, and it also must reveal the position you will take in relation to the topic. Okay, so in that one sentence, when I first read your introduction paragraph, when I read your thesis statement, I'm going to know exactly what your body paragraphs will be about. Okay, that's what a thesis statement is. So here's some examples of some original thesis statements and then revised ones. So here's an original one. It says, in this essay, I will discuss the relationship between characters and courage. Okay, that's not a great thesis statement because, first of all, don't ever say, in this essay, I will discuss. Okay, we don't need you to tell us that. We already realize that you're discussing it just by saying it. So you don't have to explain that you're going to be discussing anything. Here is a revised thesis. Often in life, having courage can help a person achieve a goal that may have seemed impossible before. Okay, so this is a good thesis statement because now I know that this person's going to be talking about how courage can help a person achieve a goal of some sort. Okay, so now it's very clear, it's very specific. And I know in their body paragraphs, they're probably going to talk about how maybe a character had courage and it helped them achieve a goal. And then in their next body paragraph, they might talk about how they had courage and it's going to help them achieve a goal. Okay, so that's a good thesis statement. Here's another one. Courage is an important quality. That is way too broad. It's way too big. You could write an entire novel about that. We need to make it more specific. So here's another example. Courage is an important quality because it allows a person to face their fears and achieve things that they may have previously thought were impossible. Okay, so now I know, again, this person thinks courage is important because it allows a person to face their fears. And then something can happen because they're no longer afraid. So now I know what they're going to be discussing in their essay. Oops. And here is another example. Courage can help a person. This is not a finished thought. If you're going to say courage can help a person, you have to explain how. So in literature and in life, having courage can help a person by showing them how strong they can actually be. Now that is a much better thesis statement. And one thing that is good about starting it with this phrase, in literature and in life, this I know because the first body paragraph is going to be all about literature. And then the second body paragraph is going to be a real example from your life. So that's a nice way to start a thesis statement too, in literature and in life. And then whatever your topic is, having courage can help a person by showing them how strong they can be. Okay, and here is an example of an introduction paragraph. So topic, is courage an important quality? Okay, so here is my intro paragraph. I start off by asking a question. Have you ever been afraid to do something but you knew you had to do it anyway? So it already gets me, the reader, starting to think about the topic of courage, right? A lot of people are faced with challenging situations and they can either run the other way or face the challenge head on. Courage is defined as having strength in the face of a challenge. So by having courage, a person can overcome some of their biggest fears. In literature and in life, courage is an important quality because it can help you accomplish things that you would otherwise not do because of fear. Okay, so that is the thesis statement right here. And that's kind of where most thesis statements will appear, is in the last sentence of an intro paragraph. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. And now this person, whoever's reading this essay, can clearly see what the topic is. It's courage. And now I know that you're going to be discussing about a story maybe and in your own life of how courage can help you accomplish things. Okay, so that's a great intro paragraph. All right, moving along, body paragraphs. So what's the point of a body paragraph? Well, first of all, you must prove your thesis. So provide reasoning and explanation behind your argument. Each paragraph must focus on one character and be about a topic or theme. And this is really, really important. Do not summarize the literature you are discussing, okay? You're going to assume that your reader knows the stories that you're discussing. So you just want to talk about the part that's really important to your argument. And you don't need to talk about summarizing the entire story, okay? Just what is going to help you make your argument. Okay, and one way that we like to write our body paragraphs is using this strategy called meal paragraphs. So just like a real meal, like a burger and fries and a drink, a real meal is filling. And just like a well-prepared meal paragraph should also be filling or substantial. And the word meal is an acronym that stands for main idea, E is evidence, A is analysis, and L is link to thesis. Okay, so this is just a way to help you organize your thinking and your ideas and write a really strong, well-written, well-organized body paragraph, okay? So the first thing you're going to say is your main idea, so your topic sentence. So if we're talking about the topic being about courage, your main idea is going to be about the story that you're going to be talking about that has to do with courage. So for an example, you could say, in the short story, A Long Walk to Forever, the character Newt demonstrates courage and is able to achieve something that he really wanted, which was to marry Catherine, right? Or to tell Catherine that he loves her. So that would be your evidence then. Your evidence is going to be the information from the actual story that kind of shows whatever your main idea is. And then the analysis will be talking about the evidence. So the evidence might be a specific part from the story that you're going to retell. You don't tell the whole story, just a little piece of it. And then your analysis is going to be explaining your thinking about why that evidence proves whatever it is you said in your main idea. Okay, and once you've done that, then you can link it back. Link it back to the idea, that the topic that you're discussing. So you could say, so this shows you that in this short story, Newt demonstrated courage and it changed his life positively. Okay, so now you're bringing it all the way back to whatever the topic of the essay is. Okay, so that's what a meal paragraph is. Your body paragraphs, information to remember. So that first body paragraph is going to be about literature. Make sure you select a character who is relevant to whatever the topic is. Okay, so you don't want to talk about, a character that didn't demonstrate courage. You want to talk about a character that does demonstrate courage, if that's what your topic is about. Why does this keep doing that? Okay, and then if you write about a personal experience, reflect upon your knowledge and or experience about a specific and memorable event. So if you're talking about courage, you want to give a good example from your life where maybe you demonstrated courage or you had to be courageous. You don't want to, make it some boring example like, I have courage because I wake up every morning and go to school. Okay, unless that is really truly something that takes courage for you, don't talk about it. And then lastly, the very last paragraph in your essay is the conclusion paragraph. So a conclusion paragraph is like the intro. Its purpose is to now kind of wrap up everything that you're saying. The introduction introduces you, and then the conclusion wraps it up. So again, it's a little bit shorter than your body paragraphs. Your body paragraphs should be 8 to 12 sentences. Your intro and conclusion can be 4 to 6 sentences. Then you're going to restate your thesis in a different way. So find your thesis statement and try to kind of say it again, but maybe in a not exactly the same way as you did in your introduction. If you want to talk about the stories you used as examples, you can quickly summarize what you said in your body paragraphs. Don't introduce anything new. Don't talk about a different story that you didn't discuss in your body paragraphs. And then in some way, you want to end it with a bang. You want to make it memorable. You want to give your reader something to think about. You want your reader to be like, wow, you know what? That was a great essay, and I totally agree with this person that courage is an important quality, right? You want them to think that way when they're finished your essay. So what could you do to do that? Maybe ask another question, or maybe use a quote that is really memorable, or it'll get your reader really thinking about your essay after they're done reading it. So that is the 4-paragraph literary exploration essay. So remember the introduction, your 2 body paragraphs, that's where all the meat is, right? Where all the good stuff is. And then your conclusion just kind of wraps up what you said, and you want to end with a bang. Okay, so obviously this is such an important stage. Don't forget to revise and edit your work. That's when you're going to cut things and change things and fix things, right? You want to do that for sure whenever you do any writing for school. Now the rest of the slideshow is just information about, how do you want to begin with a hook for your intro. Here's some examples of thesis statements that you can maybe discuss in your essay that you're going to be writing for me, because it's on the same topic, which is courage. And then just some transition words and things to help you organize your thinking. So that is the slideshow on the the literary exploration essay. If you want to look at the slides, you can check it out on my website, and you can actually look at this slideshow on your own and read through it a little more carefully if you'd like to. And that is it.